Namaste, greetings to all, and welcome to No Quitting here, baby. Yes, sir. How we doing? Let's check in. How we doing, creators? How we doing, kings and queens? How we doing, gods and goddesses? We good? We well? Okay. Just checking on you. Make sure you self-check with yourself. Ain't nobody gonna do it except you. Some other people might check on you and stuff. I'm sure you got family and friends that are real family and friends that's going to check on you and stuff. But what really matters is when we start checking on ourselves, okay? When we start really going over and seeing how we feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. We need to check on these aspects of ourselves and dial in and see where we feeling at, see where we feeling low and high at, and feed into those areas. Where we feeling low at, feed into those areas and go ahead and raise those and get those, let those other ones overpour into those weaker ones and see how you feel. You'll start to feel a lot better. Man, we started off on a whole nother topic and stuff I wasn't even going to touch on. I was going to touch on something else this week. But it was so crazy the way the spirit works. It's so crazy the way that, man, when you dialed in, the way when you really surrendering and really when you really listening to that intuition within yourself, I call it the spirit. When you really listening to that spirit, it speaks for you. So we're gonna stay on this topic right here. We'll push the next topic aside to next week. So let's touch on it. You know, we are a full spectrum human being. We are made up of a physical layer, of a mental, emotional layer, and an intellectual layer. So in a spiritual layer, that spiritual layer, you ain't really got to worry about that because the spirit is always good, baby. The spirit is where we're trying to get to. The spirit is where we're trying to remove all the rubbish of the physical layer, the mental layer, and the emotional layer. So when we remove the rubbish and the weak spots in our physical, in our emotional, in our mental, in our intellectual layers, then the spirit is just out there soaring, just the powerful, infinite, omnipresent, omnipowerful, omnipotent freaking spirit that it is. So you ain't even got to worry about that. That's the thing that lights us up, that lights up every human being that is in every living thing that we know of. It is existence. So you ain't got to worry about that spirit. That spirit is always good. And really, that spirit should be overflowing onto everything in our human and in everything that we're around, everything that we touch, everything that we think about, everything that we speak about, everything that we touch. So a great time to do this is first thing in the morning. When you wake up, self-check, see how you're doing. Well, go ahead and get up first. You know what I'm saying? Get the body moving, get that sleepiness woke up out of you, because you don't want to make these decisions with you still being tired. You know, you feeling tired and all groggy. I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to do this. It's too early. We can't be making decisions from that type of state of mind. Okay. So once we get up, you get your morning coffee, OJ, tea, whatever, your water, your vitamins, whatever you do, you get that blood pumping and moving. Check in. See how you feeling physically. Is everything working? You got any tension in the body, any ailments, anything that's going on? Take some deep breaths. Send that breath to these areas. Boost it up. Let yourself know. Have the knowledge of self. Let yourself know that it's just temporary. All things is just temporary. So whatever aches and pains or tension you got is temporary. Notice. So then next we move to what we want to call we'll just stay with the emotional. You know, the emotional, what most people don't understand, the emotional part of you is the mind. We think the mind is where we're thinking at and stuff. That's our intellectual layer. That's the layer that we're thinking from. It's a little higher than the mind. The mind is made up of your feelings and preferences and likes and dislikes and your feelings and emotions. So when I say the mental part of you, that is the emotional part of you. Okay. So that emotional part, we got to check in with that. We got to see where we're at emotionally. That doesn't mean that we become emotional. We just check in and see where our emotions is at. Are they all over the place? Are they focused somewhere? Do we need to pull this back into ourself? Okay. And understand that we are the controller of these emotions. These emotions did not come to stay. They have come to pass. Everything is coming to pass until we decide physically, with our self-effort, with our self-will, to hold on to it. Because we can do this. That's how powerful we are. Let those emotions go. Any of those bad emotions, any emotions. I'm not even saying the bad ones, the good ones, the bad ones, whatever it is. When we wake up fresh, we want to come out anew, brand new day, starting from scratch. So let it go. Let the emotions flow through us. Don't hold on to none of them. Because we don't want to go into one situation too excited, then we're going to miss certain things. And we don't want to go into it too low, sad or sorrow or misery or anything like that, because then we're going to miss things also. So we want to come in balanced in our mind, in our emotions, okay? And on the intellectual level, we got to make sure that we are pouring into this with the right knowledge, with the knowledge of the higher. Whatever higher goals or higher aspirations that you are reaching for, if it's financially, if it's materially, if it's emotionally, if it's spiritually, you have to be getting the highest knowledge that you can find. Do not be talking to Joe Blow off the streets, to your friends and your family, that when you look, they ain't got nothing. They're not physically right. They're not materially right. They're not mentally right, and they're not spiritually right. If you go into people thinking that you're getting knowledge from them, that they haven't raised levels, you're going to go nowhere. This is not the higher knowledge that you are looking for, that you need to be taking in. You need to be talking to the highest people in these fields that you know of. Whether it's freaking for wealth, whether it's for business, whether it's for whatever aspect, love, emotions, freaking spiritual, find the highest knowledge that you can find and you dive into that knowledge. Feed yourself with that, not with any old knowledge that anybody is freaking speaking, okay? And even the knowledge that's coming from these great beings, these great people, make sure that you are questioning this knowledge. Make sure this knowledge resonates for you. Make sure it goes through your reason and logic and it makes sense. All right. Because sometimes even some of these people, they just roll the dice and hit up on something. You know what I'm saying? It was no freaking methodical, freaking scientific method that they went through to gain this knowledge. So make sure you double check and triple checking the knowledge that you taking in, because this is what you're building on. Okay, because that intellectual level, that is governing everything below. It's governing everything below. All right. So take in the highest knowledge that you possibly can in any aspect that you are trying to build in. All right. Okay, baby. This is my time. No quitting here, baby. It's February. We still just early into this first season, into this first year. So stay focused, stay strong, stay encouraged, stay empowered, stay inspired. And keep flaming that flame that's inside of you, that motivation, that fire. Keep fanning that thing with the higher knowledge. Check in with yourself. Make sure that you're doing all right physically, mentally, emotionally. Make sure that you're good. All right, good peoples. Much love, health, peace, prosperity, and blessings to all. Namaste.